a member of Goodyear's Associate Engagement Survey Action Planning Team, and I'd like to talk to you about Goodyear's action planning process. It's how we put your voice into action following Goodyear's Associate Engagement Survey. Action planning is an activity that helps ensure the top survey findings and key trends for your region, organization, or business function turn into a plan for action at Goodyear. Whether you have already taken the Global Engagement Survey or are scheduled to take it in the future, it's important to understand what action planning means and why it's a focus at our company. What does an effective action plan look like? An effective action plan has certain characteristics. Imagine receiving engagement survey results from about 68,000 associates. It's challenging to identify focus areas to act on immediately. To build an effective action plan, an action planning team is needed. The team is comprised of business leaders and managers, and typically includes a human resources expert from the business function who is familiar with the engagement survey results. The action planning team reviews the survey results and begins brainstorming elements that should be in the action plan. But how does the team get started? We've put together 5 tips for building an effective action plan to help everyone understand how the top trends and key themes from survey feedback translate into action at Goodyear. Tip number 1. An action plan should address 1 or 2 key focus areas. An action plan should not try to address every business challenge at once. It is not possible to respond to each and every issue identified in the survey. The action planning team should review the survey results and select 1 or 2 key focus areas based on survey feedback. Tip number 2. Before creating an action plan, probe further. Once the action planning team members have identified 1 or 2 focus areas, they must probe deeper into the focus area to find out why it presents a challenge. The team may conduct voluntary focus groups at your location to gain additional feedback about a certain focus area, or they may send a follow-up survey to associates. Probing further into the focus area helps shape a more detailed, more effective action plan, and associates are included in the process. Tip number 3. An action plan contains both long-term and short-term ideas. Sometimes action planning ideas establish plans for long-term improvement. For instance, improving production numbers or changing work behaviors. Because addressing these challenging issues may take time, it is ideal if the action plan has several short-term ideas or quick wins for the business. Enhancements that can be decided upon and implemented fairly quickly. Tip number 4. An action plan is sustainable. While the action plan includes only 1 or 2 focus areas, it should also include more than one way to address the issues at hand. An action plan should clearly define several ways to address the issues, and it should be sustainable, so it continues to work over time to enhance our business. Action plans should help enable associates with tools and resources to better perform their jobs. Tip number 5. An action plan is measurable and flexible. An action plan must have built-in metrics or ways of tracking success so that organizational leaders can determine whether the plan is working. It's also important to fine-tune action plans over time and improve upon them. Metrics help keep track of which ideas work well and which need adjustment. Not all action planning ideas need to be new. The team may repurpose existing resources to make them work better. Once action plans are completed and approved by leadership, the action planning team drives implementation. So, what's your role? Understand the action planning process at Goodyear. Understand that the process puts your voice into action at Goodyear. Help answer questions for other associates and help them understand the process. There's another way we follow up on the engagement survey results at Goodyear. our company will conduct a pulse survey, also known as the Associate Satisfaction Index, or ASI, consisting of 10 or less questions. The pulse survey is a key part of Goodyear's balanced scorecard. A survey administrator or HR manager will advise you on how and when to take the pulse survey. Questions? If you have questions about the action planning process or the Associate Engagement Survey or Pulse Survey, contact the Hay Group at Goodyear Survey Global at thehaygroup.com, and you will receive a response in your language. Thank you for taking the time to understand the action planning process.